Whoop! Didn't expect the chair to be that low. So, hi guys, how you doing? I recently got back from LA where I met the most amazing people at Vidcon. It was a really fun time. I say I just got back. I actually got back a few days ago, although thank you, Rush, you made me ill. So the title might be slightly misleading. Technically, London Vidcon in February was my first ever Vidcon, but I mean, you can't really compare it to Anaheim. So, hey, this is my first VidCon, how are you doing? Also, respect the fresh. I've got to go through some notes. The only problem is, I only make notes on the first day and the second day, not for the rest of the 8 days. Whoops! My hair is scruffy today, so I'm sure you can tolerate that. Oh, can you hear my nose? It's so pathetic. Can you hear my computer? It's so pathetic. No, I'm kidding. You're good. You're good. Honestly, you're doing fine. So, first and foremost, this was my first time flying to the States on my own. So my dad panics a lot, and he's the kind of person that likes to get to the airport like 5 hours before a flight just in case anything goes wrong, which, you know, I respect, but Dad, it's 2019, you can do everything from your phone. But you know, he was calling me repeatedly because he's a warrior. Bless him. Dad, I love you though. Thanks for checking in on me. Anyway, I got to the airport and I was about 2 hours early for the flight. I got through security, all good. I really like these. I'm gonna call them crisps because I'm British, but you know, if you're from the States, chips called hippies, which are like puffed chickpea crisps. And they are so good. And I bought like a big bag of them to take on the plane so that I would have snacks on the plane. Did they last until the plane? No. I ate them all while waiting for my phone to charge. And of course, me being me, I was kind of absent-mindedly just like rubbing the dust in my jeans and on my shirt and stuff. And then it was on my jacket. So this resulted in a trip to the restroom to dab down my clothes. Yeah, I had to just like sponge some of the stains off because I am filth. So I was staying in a big Airbnb with Mars and Rushlight and Vader, Emerichu, loads of people, and some people were like coming and going, like Illymation was there for a while, but you know, Hexerin and just so many people that I'd already met in London were there too. We all just got on so well. It was really nice. But anyway, we had plans tonight because I was on a pretty tight schedule. My flight was supposed to get in at like 7:20, and we'd booked to go see the new Spider-Man film. So I was thinking, I got plenty of time. It won't take more than like 45 minutes to get an Uber from the airport to the Airbnb, and then I'll have like 10, 15, 20 minutes to chill out, meet everybody, and then go to the film. Guess what happened, guys? My flight was delayed. So I got to the gate and it was delayed at the gate for like 40 minutes to an hour. So there was just people doing what British people do and standing in a queue. Wasn't going anywhere, but we like to queue. The other thing was, you might have seen on my Twitter, Dan and Phil were in the queue. That was weird. It was so odd. Like, I just saw these tall boys at a distance and I was like, that's Dan and Phil. They were in like a priority boarding thing, so I didn't want to disrupt them. And Dan was in like a stripy black top, and I think Phil was in like a denim short-sleeved shirt. And they were there with their manager. You know, I would have said hi if they weren't being ushered into the priority queue, but you know, my butt was in economy class, so flight was okay, except for the fact that it was delayed for another hour. First of all, they were like, oh, we haven't found the right crew members. So that's gonna we'll be taking off though in like 15 minutes. Okay, they find the right crew members. And then they're like, oh, sorry people, there's a washing basket on the wing. We don't wanna take off because you might crash. So everybody's like, and they had to get some engineers out to remove this washing basket from the wing so that we could fly. Well, that takes another half hour. Hello everybody, hope you're having a pleasant time. We're going to be leaving in approximately 10 minutes. 15 minutes later, Yeah, sorry about that. The thing is, we missed our slot now, so we're at the back of the traffic queue. It'll be another 10 minutes. 35 minutes later, we start to move. But other than that, it was an okay flight. I binge watched all of Stranger Things season 3, and I might have cried. Also, when I got on the plane, the cabin crew were admiring my hair. And now I know how it feels to be like a guy with a long beard. You know when people feel like they can just grab and like touch it and be like, oh my god, you have such a long beard, and like automatically touch it. That's what the people, like the crew members did when I got on the plane. They instinctively went to stroke my hair. This was as an older guy and a middle-aged lady, and they both went to stroke my hair, and I was thinking, can you ask first? Like, anyway, we got to LA, landed safe and sound. All good. I got off the plane and Dan and Phil were behind me. So I thought, maybe I should say hi. And I was thinking, I know what it's like to be a creator. You don't want to be bothered by people. I'll be cool about it. I'll just say, oh, hey, Dan and Phil. Love your stuff. Great job. Have a nice time in LA. Did it go that smoothly? Also, Dan and Phil, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. I was jet lagged and tired. I was like, oh, hey, Dan and Phil. Love your videos. Are you here for Vidcon? As if they would be in LA for any other reason around the time of Vidcon. I'm just... So I just like, hey, like, it was nice to meet you and enjoy your time. And I left them to it. Oh, God. And it got to a point where, you know, at the airport, there are those... not escalators, it was like escalator walkways. So I got off the plane and I wanted to walk as much as possible because, you know, I've been sitting down for 11 hours. We sort of parted ways and said goodbye. I was just like, oh, hey, like, have a nice time. I walked down the middle piece, which is just a regular floor. And then they were ahead of me slightly on the walkway. I was walking at a faster pace and they were walking at a regular pace but on the faster thing, and we'd already said goodbye, or that was the end of the conversation, and then we were just like neck and neck speed walking with each other, and but anyway, that doesn't happen to me often. Usually a confident person. Had a little bit of a meltdown there. Oh, my nose. Rush, why did you do this to me? So, because my flight was massively delayed, I missed Spider-Man, of course. The silver lining in my plane arriving late was that Tabs was actually landing 20 minutes after me. So we thought we'd get an Uber together to the Airbnb, which was great. Yeah, the Uber was $120 something, which was pretty insane. But Tabs is just so cool. We had such a nice conversation. It's nice when you get a chance like one-on-one with people to chat. You really get to know what they're like. And we kind of figured out pretty quickly that we're just like super driven, passionate people. And we were just talking about all the exciting projects that we want to make, the stuff we want to do in our lives, where we want to go, and it was just nice, it was nice to be around other creative people that also have sort of not so much big goals, but just like excited to do what they do. It made me so happy. Hugs all around. There were like half of the people were there, but half were obviously at Spider-Man. Emily came running up and gave me a hug. And she was like, so nice to see you, Amy. And it was so funny, like one of the first things she said to me other than that was like, can I see pictures of your cats? And I was like, yes, you can. And we just sat and we were just talking about cats for ages. These are my people. But yeah, people got back pretty late, so I was really, really tired. We had plans to go to Disney the next day. Some people were saying that they wanted to get up at 6 a.m. That was never gonna happen. As we got to the gate, Laddie had forgotten that she'd left her signed kazoo in her bag, and the security guards wouldn't let her through with it because it's a noisemaker, so that's banned by security. And she got really upset, and it was heartbreaking because she didn't want to throw it away because it was signed it meant so much to her. But it was kind of obvious that she wasn't a child, she wasn't gonna use it or anything. It was signed as well. It's obviously memorabilia, but they were like, absolutely not, you can't go in here. I was saying to Laddie, look, don't worry about it. We'll go back, we'll drop it off, we can come back, we can just meet up with people later. But luckily Tabs wanted to go back and change her clothes, so Tabs went back with her. But it was just frustrating to see. It was a little bit of a dampener in the morning because it's just not a nice thing, you know, when you're excited for Disney and then you're turned away at the gate because you have a kazoo. What about all the screaming children? Does that not irritate people's ears? She wasn't going to play her kazoo. Anyway, so we got there, hadn't booked a ticket, queued up with people, and the first thing they asked me was like, oh yeah, I was saying, hey, I'd like a day ticket. And she said, will that be a child or an adult ticket? The child tickets are for under 10s. Oh yeah, me and Sultan along the way, we were just like partially dead because we hadn't had much coffee and we're addicts. So first up we were like, we need to get a coffee. And we couldn't see a Starbucks around anywhere, so we stopped in this like Disney cafe thing, but it wasn't great. It was just like on the outskirts of Disney. I had an almond milk latte and it was really expensive and the coffee wasn't that great, but we drank it anyway. Because we thought this is the only thing we're going to find. And then as soon as we walk through the gates and we're down Main Street, USA, guess what's there? A Starbucks. Damn it! First thing we wanted to do was go to Galaxy's Edge and go on the Millennium Falcon ride. Also, absolutely nerding out when I got there. Like, I was sending video clips to my dad the entire way and he was just like messaging me back being like, I'm so jealous. Like, I'd said, Dad, when I make decent money from YouTube, I promise I'll fly you out to LA so that we can go together. So I made my dad that promise now, so guys, we've got to make this happen. So you get 3 roles when you go on the Millennium Falcon ride. You can either be the engineer, the gunner, or the pilot. Me and Rush were engineers. Being an engineer, you're sitting at the back. There are a lot of buttons to press on a console on the side, and I was concentrating more on trying to get the buttons right than actually watching what was happening. I really would like to go on the ride again and maybe be a gunner or a pilot because it feels like you're directly engaged in what's going on the screen. But yeah, it was an incredible experience. So Nate is lame. He just wanted to devote the entire day to being a Jedi, which is exactly what he did. So I've got mad respect for that. He just sort of met up with us later on, just like, I've just been through so much Jedi training today and I've been scanning all these codes and figuring things out. And I'm just like, dude, that's so cool. The group ended up like inevitably splitting up because people wanted to do different things. We got a few fast passes for things. Sultan wanted to see a lot of just the magical side of things rather than focusing on going on the rides. So I spent some time with him whilst everybody else was trying to meet up with another group. We had such a nice time just exploring around Fantasyland. We just tried on loads of dumb hats together. I tried this like Simba hat on that kind of like cuffs your face like this and it pushes your head back. Wasn't a good look, but it was hilarious. And then we met up with a few other people in Fantasyland. Me, Hexrin, Alice, and Sultan went in the Tea Party ride, and you know, you can bet we were trying to get as many G's as possible, like spinning this around, and to the point where if we looked up, your head would like swing to the side. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Also, I massively regret not getting the cauliflower burger in Fantasyland because that looked really good. Instead, I had to have this overpriced bread bowl, which was like a whole loaf of sourdough bread with a tiny hole in it and like this much soup. It's not enough soup for the bread, yo. As we went on lots of rides, but there's an especially beautiful picture on Splash Mountain of me, Sultan, me and Rush were in the back because we didn't want to get that wet. Rush was like fully like covered in it, like he put his bag on the front. He was just like, oh no, I don't want to get wet. And then Sultan and Laddie in the front just got absolutely soaked, and it's the most hilarious picture. It was a good time. So by the end of the day, we were absolutely trashed. We were just so tired. We'd been on our feet all day, having loads of fun, being really in the zone and engaged, and it was just time to chill. But then I hung out with more people, and I went over to Mad's Airbnb, chatted with even more people, and then I thought, wow, I am going to collapse now. My head was on the pillow, and I was just gone. When I did wake up the next day, I was kind of disorientated because I was obviously, like, I'd fallen asleep so quickly that I didn't really realise I'd fallen asleep. So I got up and I kind of ambled out to get some water. Speaking of which, let me hydrate. Ugh. Alyssa, or Illymation, was staying with us that night. She kind of wandered out in the morning at the exact same time because I think we both heard talking from one of the girls' rooms. So we came out at the same time, and I kind of saw her in the hallway. Because I didn't have my glasses on, I was thinking, is that Illy? I can't tell, or am I dreaming? And she said something to me, I didn't hear, but I was just like, haha, yeah. And I went back to bed. Sorry, Alyssa, if you asked me like a really important question. I was not with this dimension at that time. So that whole day was pretty chill. We went for sushi. I met Alyssa's brother. Graham, if you're watching this, you cool, bro. I hope you get those dungarees someday. And it's like a massive mountain of seaweed salads and like veggie sushi. It was really, really good. Sorry guys, my throat was really hurting. So, day 3, the 10th, day before Vidcon, we just dedicated that day to picking up our passes. That was pretty much it, to be honest, just like having a wander around the hall. So I've got all my codes ready, we queued for ages. Also, so many of you found me in the queue, and I just wanted to say hi, and thank you for saying hi. Sorry, I'm nerding out a little bit. This is really good. I didn't think I'd get recognized that soon. And it was just really sweet. So like, thank you. Oh, they didn't scan my wristband properly. So when I finally went to go into the convention center to see what was around, they wouldn't let me in. So I had to queue all the way back and queue up in the heat again to get my pass checked. And that took like half an hour. That was annoying. But yeah. Day 1 of the con. Amazing. Overwhelmed? Absolutely. But did I have a good time? Yes, I did. Alyssa was talking on a panel with a load of other creators about just talking about what they do. And it was just like interesting dynamics, because sometimes when you get very different people all together, it doesn't work because they're such different audiences. But it really did. They bounced off each other really well. I'm so proud of her. There were 2 kids in front of me and a bunch of other people. And one of them, after Alyssa was talking, they were just like, oh my god, I love her. And it was just so wholesome. Illy, people love you. Other than Illymation's panel with the other people, I only caught the end of Matt Pat's talk where he gave some really good advice on thumbnails and generally what takes off on YouTube. And then my new video got approved, so then I released that, and that's done not very well. Thanks YouTube for not sharing it about, but I mean, hey, cool. It's not like I worked harder than any other video on that one. So if you haven't seen the new video, go watch it if you want to. But yeah, I met so many of you guys. Just got to hang out with people in general. Create a lounge there for creator track people. Very disappointing. Really weird. At least the one in London had coffees and teas. This one, it looked like, the only way I can describe it is like a casino meets a library meets a club. Just dark room, these kind of purple lights coming down, highlighting these round tables. No sound, very quiet, awkward. It's not a very pleasant place to be, so didn't hang out there again. I was generally amazed by the scale of the Anaheim just setup. Like, there's just so many fun stalls. Like, obviously it is all pretty much advertising, but the artistic, the creativity, you know, I've worked in the ad industry, so I know like how much money goes into these things and how much design and creative talent goes into them. But it was actually really interesting to see the different stalls. Like, there was a whole Barbie stall, and it had like a pool that you could sit in and take pictures with. I was having such a good time that I didn't actually take as many photos as I would have liked. No, we're good. But yeah, we had some parties lined up to go to, people had scheduled. That was fun. It was just fun to meet people outside of just the VidCon context. I got invited to like an artistic meetup where I met so many cool people. Lavender Town was there, Casey the Golden, Rebecca was there, and she was like, oh Amy, hi! But I wish, Rebecca, I'm so sorry, like I wish we'd had a chance to like properly catch up. I have like so much I want to talk to you about and nerd out about with artists in general. Rebecca was so busy throughout the entirety of VidCon that I saw her multiple times again, but she was never in a position where she could just stop and chat. She had to be like going places or she had something planned, so Makes me sad. I hope you're going to be at VidCon London so we can talk again. But I made my own coaster and then forgot it. So somebody has a coaster with my face on it, unless it's just in a bin somewhere, in which case that is sad, but that's the way life is. We all end up in a bin someday. So Kurt Ritchie was having a get-together that night. Draw with Jazza turned up, and I'd seen him at the art get-together, but I didn't get a chance to say hi because he was just swarmed by people. But I saw him come into the party and he had a full like Aussie hat on, Crocodile Dundee style, and I just said, dude, like, your animation tutorials helped me get through university when I was making my student film. And he was like, that's so cool. And we hugged it out. And it was just, I'm dying. It was a magical experience. He's such a nice guy. But yeah, it got late and then ended up having to round everyone up to get back to the Airbnb. So I was the one being like, Lucy, get over here. You over here. We're getting in the car. Like, so we were pretty much trashed that night and just getting into bed and just, again, hitting the pillow, falling straight asleep. Then it was VidCon Day 2. Didn't get to many panels. Did go to the animation networking meetup. They'd labelled it as creator passes only because I'd heard last year that it got absolutely swarmed. Like, you couldn't walk about because there were just so many people, so at least it was limited to creator passes now, so it was actually a manageable amount of people in the room. But I met a lot of you, I had a chat to a lot of you. Really nice to meet you. Even though I wasn't featured or didn't have a +1 badge, but it was offered to me. I got a pass for the Hyatt Hotel. Thank you, Matt, for being such a kind person and looking out for me and just trying to let me have a good time. Because the only problem with VidCon is that it's sad when your closest friends get ushered off and they have to be away from you. When half the group has got the yellow badges and they have to be behind stage, it's kind of sad when you actually can't hang out together at VidCon. So having this pass for the hotel where everyone was staying at allowed me to shuttle back and forth between the venue and the hotel, and it meant that I could meet everybody at the hotel. And they had all these cool lounges where you'd get free food and free Starbucks, and the Facebook lounge was all done up in like a sort of outdoorsy style, and they had loads of fruit, and Mars brought randomly back a pineapple one day. It was a good pineapple though, gotta say. Like, there was a pool that you could go into. It was really interesting. Also, I went to the Adobe booth because I had some questions for them about Flash or Animate CC. And I asked them a bunch of questions. I was like, hey, like, I've had this problem for a long time now. Are you going to fix it? And blah, blah, blah. People there, no idea. I think they just obviously hired people just to, like, read off a script. This lady did give me the contact details of somebody at Adobe, but it was just kind of like, what? If you don't know your software, why are you here? Rolachi had sprained her ankle. We were trying to find her crutches for ages and they didn't have it, but they offered her a wheelchair and she was just like, no, that's super excessive. So we had to like hobble back to the convention center with her. Bless her. Guys, that's what happens when animators go outside and start walking around. We just can't cope with it. We had another few get-togethers and played some party games, which, you know, got heated in some places, but I'm not going to go into that because I ain't no drama channel. But part of it was funny. And then day 3, VidCon, probably one of the best days. They had the community animation panel and it was so popular, guys. It was just completely, every seat was filled. There were people standing around. It was just amazing. Like, the animators and creatives really have an impact on an audience. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I actually got to see James that day, so we had a catch up. That was fun. Although, of course, he can't be recognized, so he was disguised. And it was just so funny. He would just like shout out to random people with his like merch plushies, be like, "That's a really nice like plushie, kid. Where'd you get it?" And they'd just be like, "Oh, it's the Odd Ones Out. I don't know if you've heard of him and stuff." And it was so funny. I got to meet Ryder, a foot of a ferret. We got on so well. We had a picture in Blue's Clues chair. He's just such a nice guy. We went out for some food in downtown Disney and then hung out with people again at Cheesecake Factory. I kind of volunteered myself. Somebody had made a drink with like this cilantro-y, basil-y, oily dressing, and they just put it in water and like swished it around to make this green drink. And of course I thought, I'll try it.
Amy's gonna drink it. Amy's gonna drink it.
No, it's
Do it. Okay. Okay, do it. Do it.
don't do it. No, don't.
Do it. Ew.
Was it any good? No, it wasn't. It was really gross. And then Mads tried it, and he looked like he almost threw up.
That was weird. Because they taste like just like wet nachos. Like liquid wet.
Ew, no!
Don't. I swear to God.
So that was funny. I also bought 2 Afmal plushies. Best kind of merch is the stuff that you can buy. Doesn't matter what it is, it's just cool stuff. So I bought 2 plushies. I bought the Johnny one and I got the potato one, and he had a butter on his head and he was so squishy. They were made of memory foam. I loved them. I just couldn't resist. I had to go back and get more. So yeah. The last day at Vidcon was followed by the Scribble Showdown, where I finally got to see Egoraptor in person. That was awesome. Obviously, I'd grown up on his cartoons. He was everything I aspired to be. Of course, before the YouTube algorithm changed, because his stuff is just... But yeah, so Domix was participating, Jaden, James, and Rubber Ninja. So that was really fun. They did like a video clip at one point, and it was just classic Egoraptor humor. I very much enjoyed myself. Though there was a section during the show where there were just a bunch of fireworks going off because it's right next to Disney, and we were all looking around like, are we being bombed? No, we're all good. We're all good. But it was kind of terrifying. So then we hung about, waiting for people to come out, but obviously there were a lot of fans hanging about, so they would inevitably have gotten swarmed, so then we had to go out the back, and then we had a nice chat outside, and then sort of made plans to visit James and stuff like that. That was nice. And then the remainder of the trip was, actually I might have got this in the wrong order, I didn't mention Beach Day. Beach Day might have been before VidCon. Anyway, Beach Day was fun. Got to go in the sea, met Ginger Pale, we had a chat. I was like, yo, I'm Welsh. And he was like, whoa, my parents are from like Welsh descent too. I was like, that's so dope, man. That's not how the conversation went at all. But it was funny nevertheless. Me, Zelinki, and Saber popped into a grocery store on the way, picked up a load of canned Cokes, and we just had a really good day. It was just chilled, having fun. And it's surprising it wasn't too hot. Also, I met Sugar. I saw her from a distance. I was like, oh god, it's Sugar. Like we've spoken briefly online, but then we met each other. We gave each other a big hug, and we were chatting, and it was just really nice. Everybody was just so lovely. There's a VidCon pic of all of us together. I'm in the bottom right side, I think. Cool. Everybody was complimenting me on my mermaid outfit, even though I had legs. Kind of defies the point of a mermaid, but cool, I was shiny. That's nice. And then the rest of the VidCon trip was just kind of hanging out with people. We went bowling.
Yeah, go get him! Get him! Get him! Oh.
Are you blocking too?
What? Go on, Rush. Yes! Oh, no!
I didn't get to go to karaoke because I lost my voice and I sounded like a prepubescent teen being like, do you want fries with that? But yeah, also, I suck at bowling.
It's better than me! I got none! Because I suck.
It's so funny because I went into this so confident thinking, yeah, I'm going to get a strike, I'm going to get spares, I'm going to be really good at this. Was I? No, I kept twisting my hand, and Rush and Mars were like, Amy, stop twisting your hand. I was like, dudes, I'm trying. And yeah, I was like last place. But hey, somebody's going to be last place. I took them for the team, obviously. But I got to hang out with Sugar Cub, and Alice was on our team, Mars, Jay. Oh no, Jay was just hanging about with us, but I got a nice chat with Jay, sort of bantering with the other team as well, being like, I hope you suck. Obviously joking, but maybe that was bad karma for me. So yeah. Next year, we're going to do karaoke early so I don't lose my voice. I think it was just like the fact that I've never been that social in my life, that the amount of talking, I sit here in my office on my own. I talk to people occasionally. I was non-stop talking to people. It was great, but my vocal cords were just like, nah mate, I'm out, I'm done, and just abandoned ship on me. So we went to the mall as well, and I got to experience Zoomies, which we don't have in the UK, and I bought this Teddy Fresh shirt, and I bought what I thought was, hang on, let me get them. They are definitely my colour scheme, so I needed them in my life. But it turns out they're not Teddy Fresh, but it doesn't matter, because they look cool. And also Mars bought a pair, so now we match. We went for sushi. We actually had double sushi that day. The people that went to the mall had sushi in one place. And then we also met up with Alyssa and Pivots and Kelsey and her brother Graham again. Laddie was pretending to be a walrus. But yeah, we had more sushi. So a lot of sushi that day. It was nice on some days just to be able to hang out at the Airbnb and just talk to people out in the garden. Like there was a whole garden area. And me and Zelinki like repeatedly had really just chilled conversations about things, or Saber would come out and join us and have a chat, and it was a chill time. Rush had brought his VR stuff, so there were people having a go at some games. Also, I'm not a health nut, but I'm generally a very healthy person, and my breakfast generally is whole oats with a non-dairy milk and fresh berries on top, maybe some chia seeds, maybe some flax seeds, ooh. However, if you give me the option to have Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch, if it's there, I'm gonna eat it. And on the last night, there wasn't any almond milk left, so I had some birthday cake vegan ice cream that James very kindly bought me, and I just thought, you know what, we're doing this. So I had ice cream on Lucio's, because apparently that's a real thing out here. They really make Lucio's. Okay, so I'm not going to say who organised it, but I got to go to a mansion in not quite Beverly Hills, but it was somewhere ridiculously fancy like that. Got to sit in a jacuzzi, got to swim in a pool, waterfall going into the pool, 5-story house with an elevator, just hanging out with a bunch of people. It was insane. I was looking out at the view of LA thinking, is this actually real? Is this happening right now? To people that organise that, you know who you are. Thank you so much for inviting me. I just feel honoured that you think that I'm cool enough to be invited to stuff like that, because I'm a massive nerd. And then finally we got to go to James's house, which was really nice. I know I've said everything is really nice, but it was, because he is so popular, didn't get a chance to speak to him, because we'd had a chat obviously in Vidcon London, we chat occasionally online, but just being in his office, and he also gave me this smudge guard. Like, thank you, James, in honour of his kindness. He's just such a nice guy, and his house is lovely, and Floof is so cute. Very loud, but very cute. So yeah, thanks, James. Now I won't get sweat and grime all over my Cintiq screen. Looking forward to that, because I am filth. Absolute filth. But I got a sneak peek of like how he works and what he was working on, and I helped out with like a frame or two. I got to record part of a podcast, but it was nice. People just wanted to get me involved in things. It was great. Also, James has inspired me to buy a massive beanbag, because that thing is the comfiest thing I've ever sat on. Also, James, thank you for the vegan ice cream and the sushi. You are the best. I didn't expect anything from James, but he was just so kind to us. It was just nice to hang out. And I'll take it upon myself to make sure I learn how to play Smash next year so I can trash you all. Like, there are so many things I want to say about this journey, but it's just going to go on forever. So I want to conclude it with, it was wonderful to finally meet people in person, because obviously I'm relatively new to the community compared to a lot of other people, and I'm living in Wales now. I am a bit removed from everybody. Obviously I can go to London Vidcon, but most people are in the States, or they're in Australia, or, you know, there are people dotted about the world, and just to be able to be in their presence and be around them and laugh and joke with them, it just, made it seem so special. And like some of the best memories I have is just hanging out with people. Me, Alice, and Annie, they are just like the funniest people. We were just like doing predictive text, and Annie's kept like wanting to say little cowboy, so we'd start a message to somebody and be like, hey Rush, I am a little cowboy. Mine kept going back to, I am not her and never will be. So don't know where that edgelord side of me comes from, but I don't think I've ever said that in a message before. But apparently I have, unless my phone knows something that I don't. But yeah, after so long of like knowing people online and getting to spend time with them in person, it was a magical experience. Everybody there was just lovely and made me feel welcome. It was really sad to say goodbye. It just felt like this is my life now. And even looking back on it now, it's almost like it was a dream. Like everything went by so quickly and was so exciting. And I'm kind of sad that we're gonna have to wait until next year now to experience that again. But I like to hope that there'll be a London VidCon, or there'll be other things that we can get together for, and because it was something special, you know, having a bunch of creators that are all excited by what they do. It makes me really excited to do more work from my channel, and I think that's the part that I was looking forward to the most. It wasn't VidCon itself, it was just being inspired by other creatives and passionate people, and that's exactly what I got out of it, and it makes sitting here alone in my office feel a lot less lonely, because I know I can reach out to people now and I know who they are, I know how they react to things, and it was just a great time. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I've got big plans for videos coming soon. Some of them are going to be quite heavy and serious, but it's some stories that I really need to tell, like about my biological mum. It's going to be like 2 or 3 parts. But that's going to be something a little bit later down this year. I want to do an aphantasia follow-up. I want to speak to professors. I want to speak to people that visualize like crazy, other people with aphantasia, and see how we compare on different tasks. I've just got so many plans, and I'm really excited to show the world what I can do. So thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, even if it's just listening to my voice. You know, bless you for putting up with me. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye-bye. Oh, and see you next VidCon, I guess.